everyone, my name is Kris, and welcome to World Wrestling Talk. I'm here with my tag team partner, Mr.
Chris Walker. Well,
Chris Walker.
you already know.
As you know, this is Side Slam. It's where we review wrestling and talk about wrestling and a whole lot of other things. Welcome to Side Slam. Wow, that's going to be kind of thing. Welcome to Side Slam. Today, we're going to talk about WrestleMania 40 and everything that happened in it. It was awesome. It was everything I wanted. I told everybody, guys, part one, night one, that's Infinity War. Night two is when we're going to have Endgame. And everybody's like, oh, no, the Roman's going to somehow retain. I don't know why people were thinking that Roman was going to retain. But Walker, what did you think about WrestleMania 40?
Something about this WrestleMania dude felt huge as I watched the event. As I just looked at the stage, I mean, the stage alone was fantastic work, and the stakes could not have been higher both nights. We saw, I think the first match I caught live was the big old tag team match,
Mm-hmm.
spot after spot, and then just the stakes. And I thought it couldn't get any better than night one. And then night two, just fantastic action. The finale of a story that is years in the making. And I'm not talking about since that other company got formed. I'm talking years in the making since Cody Rhodes came in with brightly colored tights, tag teaming with Hardcore Holly. I'm talking back in the day. This story has been finished. Fantastic WrestleMania.
It was an awesome WrestleMania, and now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Night one, I didn't fully catch because I was working that night, and when I got off of work, I was so tired, so I went straight to bed. But
Oh,
I caught up on night two, and I saw night one on night two. I saw everything. Uh, I have to say, I don't know. Obviously, besides the Cody, the Bloodline, the tag team match between the Bloodline and the Cody and Seth Rollins, man, I just have to say, Seth Rollins, what the hell was he wearing? What was that? I get it. He's like supposed to be the eccentric figure, but I was just like, what is the hat? The hat, the thing that Pat McAfee. Look at his hat, and then Corey Graves like that's a hat. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that, but I was a big fan of that match. That was a good match. But for me, and I know I'm going to get some shit for this, but for me, the match of the night has to be AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah. What do you think, Walker?
no.
What?
Uh, First of all, let me respond to your hat comment. All right. I know what that was. That was an old church mother hat that they used
Mm.
in the Baptist church. As they would do the hymns and the singing now. But no, LA, come on, man. I
I
mean,
thought that match was good. I mean, it had a great storyline. Besides the obviously the Cody stuff, other than anything else, I like that match. That was a good match.
it had solid build up. It was a good match. I'll give it that. But I don't know. To me, it left something to be desired. Now, I'll tell you my match of the night, Tamez.
Mm.
I'm normally I'm not normally one to go for the tag team spot fest, right? That's normally not me. But that ladder match was something special. Even to see R-Truth go for the pin, I mean, and then finally get his dub, his WrestleMania moment. Awesome. Two guys who absolutely deserve it, right? We're talking the Miz and R-Truth getting the spotlight. I think that's a moment that was highly underrated and highly appreciated. So I'm going with the tag team match. Obviously, the bloodline matches were something special and something spectacular. But outside of those, I'm going to have to give it to that tag team match. I mean, when Gargano hit the apron DDT onto the table, there was nothing more beautiful. Even the botched spot with Priest coming off the ladder was still phenomenal. And just a side note, always listen to Jessica Carr when she tells you a ladder is broken.
Also, I thought a great matchup for the night was the Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I thought it had everything. It had emotion. It had backstory. It had everything. Where Seth Rollins from night one was distracted because of the Cody thing, and also he was beat up too. You know, he went through the ringer night one. They beat the hell out of each other night one. Seth Rollins was distracted. Also, Drew McIntyre was distracted by CM Punk being at ringside with awesome, funny commentary. I thought it was pretty funny whenever Drew McIntyre was talking to Punk, and Punk's like, "I can't hear you. I got cans on. I can't hear nothing you're saying." And then he hit him with the suck it. He hit Punk with the suck, and Punk was like, "You know what? Enough is enough. It's time for a change." And Punk took off his brace and hit McIntyre. And lo and behold, who comes out to cash in their money in the bank? We have from damn it, his name is escaping me right now.
Money in the Bank himself, Damian Priest.
Thank you. Damian Priest comes out and cashes in, cashes in his money in the bank, and we have ourselves a new world heavyweight champion.
And I think everything that happened there was solid gold, Tamez. From the Claymore off the cuff of the match, it had one of those matches of he who shall not be named, Brock Lesnar. Right? It had the same feeling as one of his matches because they came out with finishers. Right?
Mhm. Right.
That the attempted curb stomp off the table, right? All of the spots were phenomenal, and those guys gave everything they had. The fact that Seth Rollins pulled triple duty at this WrestleMania it testifies to his work ethic, to how important he is to the company. And obviously, when Drew won the match, I'm sitting there. I turned to my buddy and I said, "Hey, Drew deserves this." And he really did. And there's a clip. You see Seth saying it too. Drew carried the company through the pandemic. He was the pandemic champion. And I think he's one of two people during that time period that deserve the credit, the other being Zelina Vega. But what happens with Drew is just hilarious. That announce table and Punk saying, why are you making this moment about me?
Mm-hmm.
Leg sweep. And the look on Punk's face when Priest's music hit is priceless. It's classic Drew screwed Drew. A solid fatal four-way in the future. And absolutely, if Seth doesn't take time off, if Punk is getting healed quickly, I see a fantastic fatal four-way coming up because there are four men who have the claim to the title. The champ gets his rematch. Both Drew and Seth get rematches, and there's that sneaky snake CM Punk in the mix. So I think we're going to have something really exciting moving forward for the World Heavyweight title.
And before we get to our main events of the night, we can't forget our beautiful women wrestlers. WWE had a great women's match. We had Becky Lynch versus Mommy. Mommy for night one, and Mommy, of course, retained because, hey, I think her star is on the rise. I mean, she is up there. And also, night two, we had Bayley versus Io Sky. And Bayley finally got her moment in the sun. She finally got one of the original four horsewomen. She got her moment in the sun, and she is the new WWE Women's Champion. Walker,
A,
what say you?
a well-deserved moment from Bayley, right? You get to see it, and you see the evolution. I like Bayley because her character progression is so natural,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so you get to see Io doesn't have much to offer outside of the fact that Io Sky is the undoubted best wrestler in the women's division. There's no shadow of a doubt. So it was a phenomenal match, phenomenal storytelling. But Temez, you're forgetting something. There was a women tag team match out there, a 6-woman tag team match that featured the in-ring debut of one Jade Cargill. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed. But at the same time, I think they're setting her up to be a monster the women's division has not seen the likes of in decades. And so I'm excited to see where they go with Cargill. And I think just looking at the talent that the WWE women's roster has, we're in for some solid times in the next year, man. I'm really hyped for that.
I'm down for it. I'm all here for it. I'm all WWE. I'm all in for WWE. Now we get to our main events. Night one, we had the Bloodline tag team, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. What a great match. I mean, but hey, we talked about that earlier. I want to get to the meat. No bread, no water, just meat, daddy. I want to get to to Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, and man, Walker, I don't know about you, but you know me, Daddy. As a matter of fact, Walker, you can't see the screen right now, but we'll get to this later. You can't see the screen, but what's in front of me. But I was an emotional wreck last night whenever Cody, I mean, it was the end game of WrestleMania. We had John Cena, we had The Shield, and we had The Undertaker, The Rock. I mean, everybody coming out to beat the final boss. The what?
Don't forget Solo Sikoa was there.
Solo Sokoa, and we had the Yeet versus No Yeet. They threw each other off the ramp there. It was like a 9 or 10 foot fall. I don't know what it was, but it was high as hell, and it had to hurt. And then at the end of the night, you know what? I'm not gonna say this. It was a great WrestleMania, but if I could turn back, if I had the time stone, I would I would still have the Undertaker, but also I would have the I'd have Stone Cold Steve Austin delivering one stunner to The Rock, and I love how The Rock sells his stunners. That would have been the icing on the cake. But also we had the Shield Seth Rollins. What was that about, Walker? What was that about?
All right, so hold up. You said a lot and you skipped a lot.
What?
Let's start with the fact that the four men went 44 minutes the night before. The second longest match in WrestleMania history.
Mm.
44 minutes. Akers Holmes worth the minutes. All right. 44 minutes. And I was thinking, okay, Rock is 52 years old, bro. He's not about to come out here and do anything fancy. No, Rock went out there and stole the freaking show, as Dwayne The Rock Johnson should. And so after 44 minutes in a grueling match, these guys come out here and do something fantastic. The match was already top notch when it was just Roman and Cody in the ring. Then all of a sudden, here comes that jerk Jimmy Uso. By the way, the Uso versus Uso match kind of mid, but when the crowd was yelling, "Yeet, no yeet," phenomenal. Okay, so Jimmy comes out, right? All right, that's normal. Solo comes out and attacks from the front. Okay, solid storytelling. Then all of a sudden, you're thinking, and I literally was just telling my buddy, "Oh man, this WrestleMania didn't have John Cena." And what happens? You can't see him. He comes out there and gets revenge for that loss. Remember, his last match was against Solo. That's
Mm-hmm.
storytelling. Triple, triple, triple of the H knows what he's doing. So now all of a sudden, then he goes after Roman, and what happens? The final boss. We're gonna reignite. We're gonna reignite this feud that I grew up with, the feud that marked my teenage years. Rock versus Cena. Rock gets the better of him, but it ain't over yet. You think you've seen enough. You think you've seen all you can see, and the lights go out.
Boom.
Wow. I don't know why he was there, but he was there. And so I am so excited. It was phenomenal. And for Cody to get the 1, 2, 3, not just that, but to see the legends of the roster come out there, to see Randy, one of his greatest mentors, holding him up, to see John Cena in the ring, CM Punk in the ring. You're talking, they could be a Mount Rushmore on their own.
Mm-hmm.
To see that, and the way the Romans walk back, God, this was historic. We will never in our lifetime, Temez, see a reign like Romans come to an end. And to see someone like Cody be celebrated, I will dare to say, I'm glad they didn't put the belt on him last year. I'm glad they had the mishap with The Rock, because this created a moment bigger than Daniel Bryan winning the title years ago. This created a moment that defines WrestleMania. It was beautiful, and I'm glad to have seen it.
It was a great WrestleMania. Like I said, my eyes were not crying, but I was very emotional last night. It was a great time. And then whenever Brandy came out and Mama Rhodes came out. Mama Rhodes was there, and I'm like, oh, guys, and I can feel his spirit, Daddy. I can feel it. I can see it. His aura was there. He was there with his mama, and he was there with his wife. And oh my God, it was such a beautiful time. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Also, before we go, like I said, I'm gonna get to what we got in front of me. But before we go, you last night follow us on World Wrestling Talk Instagram. I pretty much did. I pretty much went through every match at the end of every match. Follow us, World Wrestling Talk 713 on Instagram. Walker, you have a plug-in. How can they get you?
It should be on your screen at Walker Wrestling Talk. Hey, it's just me. It's just me, Oos. Right? So we but Temez, I don't know what's on your screen, but can I bring up a point?
Bring it.
All right, man. I gotta talk about two people who stole the show this weekend. Even Michael Cole had to comment on it. All right, even Michael Cole had to comment on this. Samantha freaking Irving.
Yes, yes.
And on night one, when she announces that main event, I have never in my life gotten so hype off of ring announcing. Right? Never in my life. I mean, just like every bit of it, energy, and the fact that she was crying as Cody's win made it so much more special. MVP of my night, all right? Second MVP of the weekend has to go to Thunderbolt Patterson. I just gotta, watching him took me to church, all right? And he's sitting there, if it had not been, all right, wrong audience, okay, but I was feeling that. And so it was those two, Thunderbolt Patterson, Samantha Irving stole the show. All right. All the matches, top notch. But she added such depth to it by just being that dang on good at her job. Phenomenal.
I do agree with that. Samantha Irving, I mean, you could see whenever she would announce Roman Reigns or The Rock, I mean, her whole body was like, it was great. And yes, she was very emotional whenever Cody won the World Wrestling Heavyweight Champ, the undisputed Universal Championship. She was crying. You saw a video of her. I think WWE has that up there. She was crying. But now that Cody is the new undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, obviously you guys can see what's in front of me. Walker can't. I have brung my coveted WWE Winged Eagle belt because there's been talks. There's been talks that Cody is going to try to bring this back. And also, he said it on the Pat McAfee show today. Today being Monday, we're recording this on Monday. He said on the Pat McAfee show today, he's like, you know what? I'm not head of creative. I'm not an EVP or whatever he said. But if there's one thing that he could change, he said, Triple H, I hope you're listening. If there's one thing he could change, he would bring back the coveted Winged Eagle belt, the belt that everybody in my generation grew up around with Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold. What, Walker? What do you got? What do you got?
All right, so I gotta tell you something. I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. Okay, and so if anything, Cody, if you're gonna do it, make this toy irrelevant. All right. All WrestleMania week, I've carried my big gold belt, the World Heavyweight Champ. While we're at it, right? If we change in titles, get rid of that monstrosity that Damian has. Let's go back to the big gold belt, right? I've carried it to work all last week in honor of WrestleMania. My students said I needed to remind them that I'm the champ. I'm the big dog, right? But, oh my gosh, if we can get rid of these current main championship belts, I will be beyond happy. I was literally watching a TikTok when I got home today that a guy was going over belts. The mid-card belts are phenomenal. Intercontinental and United States are phenomenal. But our world champions need better belts. And by the way, I have heard that Cody will be known as the WWE champion. That's what we're going back to. We're bringing back the original name based on the sources that I've heard. We will see on this Monday. We should know right now. We go and check and watch. But I hope that being the WWE champion is what's best for Cody. The American Nightmare, it has come to, I don't know, will he be on SmackDowns?
I'm not. I mean, he's a champion, maybe.
Yeah, El Campeon on Friday night. So I'm hoping we get, because that belt is ugly, right? So we need something new. And remember, Cody had done this before with the Intercontinental Championship. When he won it, he brought back the white belt. So I'm hoping history repeats itself. Not giving us a white belt. That's not the thing. That's
right.
not. But going back, taking us retro, turning back the hands of time, and getting us a better belt.
That's an interesting thing you brought up. Before we go, I wanted to say last night, if you were watching WrestleMania, we heard Michael Cole he was emotional, crying, announcing, and he said, "I love professional wrestling. They are bringing back professional wrestling." Listen, man, I'm a big mark for VKM. Hashtag VKM forever. But there was some things that VKM did that I was like, okay, well, okay, whatever. Sports entertainment, I'll go with it. I like it. But at the end of the day, we are all pro wrestling fans. We are wrestling fans, and that's what Michael Cole said last night. I love professional wrestling. And you know what? I'm with you, Michael Cole. I love professional wrestling too. That's going to do it for us here on World Wrestling Talk Side Slam. My name is Kris. Here's my tag team partner, Mr.
Walker at
And
Walker Talk. Woo!
until next time, Walker, take us out.
Hey, we will talk to you when the bell rings again.
Peace.